This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to everyone with an entrepreneurial spirit. That includes bootstrappers just starting out, established business owners, and business leaders. My goal is to help you grow both personally and professionally. I'm your host, Isaiah O'Connor. Today's sponsor is Audible.com, the world's largest collection of audio books. And the book I'm going to recommend today is the book Unstoppable by Nick Vujicic. Now, if you've never heard of Nick Vujicic, I highly suggest you go look him up. He's got some wonderful videos on YouTube, and he is a motivational speaker. And I can guarantee you, he is a motivational speaker unlike any you've probably seen before. Nick Vujicic was born with no arms and no legs. And he has started his own business, a bootstrapper for sure. He is married, he's got kids, he plays golf, he swims. He is truly unstoppable and a great inspiration. So I highly recommend the book Unstoppable by Nick Vujicic. If this book sounds interesting, you can go get a free copy with your free trial of Audible over at audible.com/bootstrap with a capital B. You get 1 credit, good for 1 book, 2 Audible originals, and access to their entire listening library for the entire time of your trial. And after the first 30 days, the trial switches over to a $14.95 cost, and you get a free audio book plus 2 Audible originals every single month and have full access to their listening library every single month. You can cancel at any time. There is no commitment. So go check them out. Audible.com/bootstrap to get your free 30-day trial. Check them out. Today, I'm going to be speaking about how your attitude can change your perception. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that the way something occurs and the events occur around you, the way you perceive them can be completely affected by your attitude. What do I mean by that? Let's take the balloon industry. Say you get a bag of balloons, and the bag of balloons, there's 100 balloons in the bag, 100 count, and you have 3 balloons in there that are no good. Factory defects. They're what we call twins in the industry. They get stuck together, or there's a little hole in there, or something else is wrong with it, and there's 3 balloons. 3%, that's pretty okay, considering they're making thousands and thousands and thousands of balloons, and any more quality control checks will just jack up costs, and it's understandable that mishaps happened. So 3 out of 100, it can be annoying, but it's life, it happens. Now, your attitude, however, can change the way you perceive this happening. Now, if you really like the company, or you just don't really care one way or another about the supplier, you just want a high quality balloon, and you just have a general positive attitude towards life, you chalk it up to, it's not quite 100, but oh well, I knew that could happen, so I have enough extra anyway. You plan ahead, you buy some more balloons, you buy more than you need so that you don't have a problem. You just deal with the problem. Not a big deal. And it's not a big deal because you just have a general positive attitude and whatever, it happens. Part of life. Or, if you're really positive attitude and you really like the company, you might go and count all the balloons and go, oh, they actually sent me 110 balloons and 3 were bad. Hey, they really took care of me. That's even better. And then if you just have really negative attitude and you're just having a bad day, 3 balloons, that's 3%. That's way too high of a percentage. How dare they ship me 3 bad balloons? I can't believe it. I'm never going to use this company again. This happens to me all the time. Every bag I get always has at least 1 balloon that's defective. And every time you get a bag of balloons, you're always going to find a bad balloon and you're going to freak out about it and just go on their website and their Facebook page and just rip them a new one. Because how dare they make a poor quality product? How dare they? Now, you've got 3 people that get the same amount of defective balloons every time around. Really high quality. Ever so often, there's a defective balloon or 2. It happens. And usually, on average, from my experience, about 1% or less overall. Sometimes you just get one bad batch that's really bad. It happens. And the company, if you get a bad batch, you call them, they send you a new batch. Not a big deal. It happens. Whatever. But you don't really make a big, huge deal about it. You don't make a specific note noting that, oh, this one's a bad batch or whatever. It's just part of life and you just deal with it. Not a big deal. Now, if you're super positive, every batch you get, you count them all out and you realize that you're getting more than 100 almost every single time. I know one guy with one company who's done that. Every time he gets a new batch of balloons, he counts them out by 100 and puts them away, and he constantly finds extra balloons, and he's very happy. Because to him, the experience is, they're giving me more than I pay for every time. Then, of course, there's the sourpuss and grumpy guy, and every time they get a bag of balloons, there's so many wrong, and they're so defective, and I can't believe how often they're defective, and this is just horrible. I'm switching companies. I'm never coming back again, and they'll go on Facebook again and complain. So what's the difference? They all get the same amount of bad balloons. They get all the same defective. But one guy absolutely praises the company and loves the company and will never leave. One is whatever. Doesn't care one way or another, but doesn't get excited about bad balloons and doesn't get excited about extras. Just, it's life. And the other guy thinks it's the worst company ever and all they do is produce junk. When on average, they don't have that many problems. They're just a normal company. Normal balloons, normal company. I've seen that a lot. And yet, I've seen people swear that they almost never, ever get a defective balloon because they love the company. And then people say that they're getting bad balloons every single batch, every single time, no matter what. And there's a lot of them, way more than they pay for, and they get really grumpy. What is it? What is reality? What's the truth? The truth is probably about the middle guy who, ever so often there's a bad batch. So what? Whatever. Big deal. Carries on. It happens. That's just life. But the way their attitude is towards the company and the way their attitude is in general affects what they see. And again, I've seen groups where people who are constantly negative about a company are also constantly negative about everything. And everything's wrong. Everything people do is wrong. All this went wrong, this failed. And they're complaining about something all the time, about how horrible life is and how unlucky they are and how just terrible things are. And then there's other people that are, yeah, okay, sometimes bad things happen, sometimes not. This was a bad batch. I was frustrated, but then they fixed it and now I'm happy. Or then you have the people, oh, I never ever have problems. What's wrong with you guys? These are perfect balloons. Again, you look and the whole realm of reality is different based on your overall attitude. Another part of this is if you like something or not. Let's take Apple, for example. There's a lot of Apple fans who just really, really like Apple, and Apple can do no wrong. Then you have people who really, really hate Apple, and Apple can do no right. And they have people that are ambivalent and basically, Apple's another company. Maybe they're a bit expensive for me, but they're another company. Neither worse or better than any other company. They're just kind of there. And again, the valuation of Apple products will be, they're all horrible, they're all amazing, or they're okay. Again, based on if you really care about the company or not. Now, here's kind of the key on this little attitude series I kind of stumbled into, and that's this. If you realize that you're finding the negative in a lot of things, and bad things keep happening to you, and you keep getting defective products from your supplier, and just bad luck after bad luck after bad luck seems to be happening, and you just can't seem to get ahead, then perhaps things aren't nearly as bad as you think. It's just your perception of reality is being warped by your negative attitude. On the flip side, it's also a little bit dangerous to be overly positive, because if you see nothing wrong, you can be led kind of down a rabbit hole, and when something really bad does happen, you might be caught unawares and be knocked down a few notches because you're overexcited with a product, a service, or something else. Kind of comes back down to are you a pessimist or an optimist? Is the glass half empty, half full? If life brings you lemons, make lemonade. All these little platitudes. And my advice is this: when it comes to your attitude, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. You can try to make an honest evaluation of things. Try to go look at things and go, hey, this is a real problem with this company, or this is not a real problem. You got to pay attention, because sometimes if a company has a real problem, you need to be able to identify that and deal with it. If your company has a real problem, you need to definitely be able to identify it and deal with it. But if you have the rose-colored glasses on, you might not deal with a major problem. You might defend something that's really horrible. No, I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm talking about major defects in a product, dangerous product defects, etc. And I've seen Apple fans gloss over major mistakes Apple's made. And I've seen people who hate Apple blow a tiny little thing out of proportion because they hate Apple. Yeah, I pay attention to some tech news. And same with the balloons, a real issue, and people will skip it and not pay attention, not deal with it. It can really mess you up. So here's kind of my advice. You need to be a pessimistic optimist. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. If life brings you lemons, you better have sugar, because sour lemonade tastes no good. That sort of thing. And if the glass is half empty, half full, you can say it's both. And it's half empty of air and half full of water, or half full of water and half empty of air. Your choice. You can really find kind of the middle ground. Now, if you've listened to me for any amount of time, you find I play towards the middle ground. I don't like extremes. There are sometimes the extreme is accurate, but it's very, very rare that extreme points of view seem to be absolutely true and honest. There are times, and there are definitely absolute truths that it's because it's absolute, it does work every time. So, yeah, of course. But in general, I find the truth lies more towards the middle of most things. For example, salt. You need salt to live. Too much salt makes you sick. Even more salt will kill you. Water. You need to live. You drink too much water and don't take enough salt, you can actually die from water poisoning. Yeah, it's true. Not sure? Read up on water poison and marathon runners. Happens a lot with runners and bikers. They run, and drink water, and they don't take anything else. And so they dilute their blood so much that the salt doesn't work, electricity is not passed through their body, and their nervous system kind of shuts down, if I remember correctly. It's bad. You die from drinking too much water and not enough salt. You need both. So extremes. And when it comes to your attitude, if you find that you're having a lot of bad luck and just everything's going wrong and your suppliers can't get anything right and your customers are all grumpy and bad and just everything bad seems to be happening to you, perhaps it's your overall attitude which is affecting your perception. Perhaps your suppliers are not really that bad. Perhaps your customers aren't really that grumpy. Maybe you've just had a bad attitude and it's affecting the way you view it. I mean, we've all been there. We've all had bad days, and when you have a bad day, you're grumpy with everyone and everything goes wrong. And it just seems like just bad thing after bad thing happens and you feel horribly unlucky that day. It's not fun. And if you're in business, you can't live like that. It's unhealthy, it's stressful, and it can take you out completely. Not a good thing. You get it can cause burnout, lead to burnout, which is going to be another episode. And you don't want to get burnout. You don't want to start hating people. You don't want to start hating your customers. You don't want to start hating your suppliers. You start going down that road and you can get yourself in trouble. So just remember, if you're having a bad day, bad week, or if you just notice that you're just hitting a bad run of bad luck, stop and check. Is it really bad things happening? Or is it my perception is being thrown off because of my bad attitude? Also warning, if nothing seems to be wrong, everything is going right, it could also be because of an overly positive attitude, and there might be something lurking underneath that you need to address before it gets too bad, because you've been glossing over it, because you don't want to deal with it, because, again, of an overly bright attitude. So, anyway, here I go, telling you to go down the middle again. You have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. If you found value in this content, please leave a comment and give us a 5-star rating on whichever podcast platform you use. We're on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google, and most other podcast platforms. If you would like to support us, you can check out our sponsor links, or if you'd like to support us directly, you can donate or join our membership program at buymeacoffee.com/bootstrap. Of course, it really helps when you share these podcasts with your friends as well. If you'd like to interact with me and other bootstrappers and leaders, you can join us over at our O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast Facebook group. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, an Atheoz Business Solutions podcast. For a companion podcast, the Atheoz Business Podcast, which is hosted by Jason St. Clair, past episodes and related blogs, please check out our website at www.atheoz.com, which is at www.atheoz.com or theoz.com. Until next time, I have been your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor.